What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV. Very much a different vibe here in the studio from yesterday. Sim was about to make his way down to Wembley to go see Oasis. I was heading out to Luton, of all places, to go watch Spurs in pre-season. And yeah, I was very excited. Sim was even more excited. And yeah. How was that for coming down to earth, walking out of Wembley Stadium and seeing that news?
Wasn't a great day at all for Tottenham yesterday. Two dour matches, drawing to League One opposition Wickham 2-2 early in the day, nearly losing that game, and then 0-0, one of those dire games we've seen against Luton. One shot I think we had all game.
Yeah.
It was such a painful watch. And then we got the breaking news in the evening, just after I came out of the Oasis gig. I'm on cloud 9. I'm thinking, well, life can't get much better, and then come crashing back down to, if only Tottenham can do that to a person.
Yeah, you were damn right. Life couldn't get much better walking out of Oasis because it got a whole lot worse as you got out that stadium. But yeah, my God, man.
This is one of the few times that someone's bungled a here we go. Had to be Tottenham, of course it did. When was the last time someone's activated a release clause?
You know what it is?
Bungled it?
You know what it is? It's like every time something hasn't happened, but we're so sure it's going to happen, every single time it gets thrown back in our faces. Mm-hmm. You thought we would have learnt our lesson by now, but no. Here we are once again.
This club.
It's ridiculous, man. It is absolutely ridiculous. And look, we're going to get into all the reactions of everything in due course in the stream. Definitely going to be reacting to that Morgan Gibbs-White interview.
You mean hostage video?
Literally hostage video. That's what it is. That's the first thing I thought
for his
of.
Safety. I'm genuinely worried. I
don't know why you say that with a smile. I'm actually genuinely serious at. Like, Marinakis has got this guy. He's literally held this guy hostage. And look, we'll get into all of that. We will get into all of that very shortly. But first and foremost, we're going to bring on ex-friend of the channel, Wolfie, Forest Fan
who
TV.
Who invited this guy?
Wolfie?
How are you guys?
You asking that question, knowing the answer.
The problem is, boys, I warned you. And you ignored my warnings. Don't take on Marinakis. And you tried. And you now have to suffer the consequences of it. It's that simple. I think Spurs fans have been a little bit giddy. You won a cup. You suddenly saw kudos coming in. 2 days later, whatever it was, you trigger a release clause. And I think this needs to be a very heavy reminder to you about your owner. Well, not your owner, but Levy. Because Levy doesn't change. He doesn't change. You guys started to believe it. I was laughing the other day that Spurs fans were believing the Rodrigo links and things like that. I think it's time you realize that you ain't that club. You tried to pull my 5th best player out. You couldn't even take him. With the release clause. With the release clause.
Who cares anyway? Like, he wouldn't have moved any goalposts for Spurs anyway, so it doesn't really make a difference.
Well, no, my 5th best player would have ended up being your best player, boys. Let's be real here.
Is that right? Is that
right? I mean, you played 180
right?
minutes yesterday and you couldn't win a game. You tried twice and still couldn't win a game.
Have some respect, man. Have some respect for the team that won the Europa League last year. And how many times in the last, 30 years have you finished above us?
What have you achieved in those 30 years?
Yeah, answer the question. How many times in the last 30 years have you finished above us?
So we're going to do the history thing.
No,
we're going to do the history thing.
Just answer the question.
Well, in the most recent history, we're 1-for-1 against you.
Answer the question. How many times in the last 30 years have you finished above us?
Twice.
Twice. Has it even been twice? I remember once, and that was it.
We finished 3rd, mid-90s. So unless you won the league that season, then I'll count that one as well. But
what year was that?
Doesn't matter, man. The Spurs from back then to the Spurs now. What's really changed? I think you guys need to use this as a good lesson and just start to have a deep look at Spurs and think, where do we go from here? Because this whole saga, joking aside, I think has pulled a handbrake up on your transfer window. I feel like Levy was sitting there, waiting, hoping, praying. You know, what shall I do with this Marinakis guy? He's got me covered. And nothing's happened for 2.5 weeks for you guys. You've wasted most of the transfer window.
No, I agree. I agree with that. But why do you even want Morgan Gibbs-White at your football club right now? This guy has been pushing...
He can leave, bro. I don't mind him going. Just not Spurs. Not Spurs.
Like, what is it such a big coup for Nottingham Forest to keep a player that just doesn't want to be there? Like, he's literally held hostage at your football club right now.
I mean, I could ask you guys that.
Your fifth player don't want to be there.
Yeah, but I could come to you guys for advice on that, because didn't you do that with Kane?
We did do that with Kane, and now he's gone.
And when you kept him, how did he perform?
Kane's one of the best players in world football. Don't ever get Harry Kane's name and Morgan Gibbs-White's name in the same sentence.
I'm not comparing the two players. I'm comparing the situation, because you're saying
he did great because Harry Kane is one of the best players in world football.
And he came for our academy. He loves the club.
Isn't he an Arsenal fan?
One of our own. He's one of our own. He's one of our own. That's what he is.
It doesn't matter what he grew up. It's what he became.
Exactly.
Guys, I'm just sensing a bit of low morale from you boys. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, I feel like reality hit, man.
Do you actually think Gibbs-White wants to be there, watching that interview with Marinakis? Did you get the sense, okay, he's staying because he wants to stay?
I think he saw sense. I think you know what it is with footballers. Like they don't really watch football week in and week out like we do. I think he just thought Spurs were meant to be a Big Six team, and they were probably somewhere up there in the table. And finally, someone showed him the table from last season, and he was like, "Oh shit, 17th, man."
Did anyone show him the videos of the parade on the high road? Did anyone show him those videos?
Maybe they showed him the protest videos as well.
I don't know if he saw sense. I think he got a major threat. That's what I think. I think Marinakis threatened him in every which way he could. And I think
that is some pure copium, bro. That is like some next level copium. You think a grown man is going to be held at ransom to stay at a club that he doesn't want to stay at with a 60 million release clause?
I think in usual cases, I agree with you, but I think he read up on Marinakis, and I think he didn't like what he found out. And I think he thought, if I go against this guy, I think I actually might be in fear for my life.
I did warn you guys, don't mess with Marinakis. I think what you just said there, change Gibbs-White's name and put Levy in there, and I think that's closer to the truth.
I don't think so.
Do you think so? What do you boys actually think happened? I mean,
if I'm being 100% serious, I think he did breach his contract with the confidentiality. That's why I reckon Marinakis is hammering him on. And I think Marinakis turned to him and said, look, if you make this move, either you've got two options. You either sign the contract or you go ahead with this move and I'm going to basically take you to court. I'm going to basically sue you into oblivion or whatever. Or big legal threats about the move, because I think he said, look, you've breached this confidentiality agreement. I think all these legal issues and complaints, which apparently never were ever formally filed, I reckon there were probably complaints against Gibbs-White, not Tottenham. And I reckon he was threatening Gibbs-White with legal action if he was to make the move and go through with it. And he said, either you make that move and I'm going to threaten you with this legal action, or you sign the contract and we move on from this situation. That's what I reckon happened. And he didn't look like he was happy to stay by that video. He did not look. And he signed a 1 year extension? 1 year extension he signed.
But he's already got another 2 on top of that. So it's a 3-year deal.
He's got 3 years, yeah.
The length of the contract doesn't matter. It's the clause. Like, the clause has either been removed or increased. That's all Forest
I'm sure it's been increased, hasn't it? It's probably like 85 to 90 million or something now.
Have you ever
I think it could go to 100. I think it's going to be one of those clauses where it's just there for the sake of being there. You know, like you see in the Spanish league where they're just silly numbers.
Yeah, 560 million or something.
Yeah. But just by what you just said there, on that logic, I would say, okay, if you're saying the leak came from Gibbs-White or Gibbs-White's camp, then if Spurs have done this legally, let's kind of go down that scenario. Why hasn't Levy challenged it? Because
he probably has. I think Gibbs-White himself, I think he's threatening Gibbs-White. I think that's probably been the hold-up. He's telling you, Gibbs-White, you can't make this move. If you do, I'm gonna sue you for breach of contract for the.
But that's still hearsay. That's still hearsay, because it's his word against Gibbs-White. Unless there's some smoking gun email to say, "Hi Levy, this is my release clause." then I still think that's hearsay. So I don't think it's gone down that route.
I
The
think it
thing
has.
that I find more of a smoking gun is the fact that Levy has not reacted in the last 2 or so weeks to do anything. Because if he is so clean, then let's just say it played out that Levy guessed at the number. For example, he hit the release clause. Legally speaking, he would be in the right to say, doesn't matter if no one at Forest is answering our calls. We can call Gibbs-White. He can come down to do a medical, and we'll just send the check in the post. I know it's more complicated than that, but we're simplifying the scenario here. So if that hasn't happened, then surely you guys need to ask some questions about what Levy's done in all of this.
I don't know what he could have done that was so bad. What exactly are you saying what exactly could he have done apart from getting the figure from Gibbs-White? What exactly?
No, I'm
could
not
be
saying
so
he's
bad?
done anything bad. I'm saying if he hasn't done anything, why hasn't what I just said played out? Why hasn't this transfer gone through?
Because Gibbs-White is being held by Marinakis.
That wouldn't
being an
matter.
accusation.
That wouldn't matter. Marinakis hasn't got him locked
Gibbs-White
up
has
in
to
a room.
agree to it at the end of the day.
Yeah, but
He's the one who
you
has to
guys
agree
told
to
me
it.
he agreed to terms that he wanted to go to Spurs.
I'm sure
and
he
everything.
did. I'm sure he wanted to come, and then Marinakis said, "If you agree to this, I am suing you for breach of contract." That's what I think happened.
Boys, it sounds like copium. Sounds like copium,
I
boys.
mean, the evidence by looking at that interview would suggest Marinakis standing right there, making sure Gibbs-White says the words that he put in front of him. And said,
Mr. Marinakis, Mr. Marinakis, Mr. Marinakis.
Script word for word. He didn't look happy there, Gibbs-White. The body
That's
language
from your
did not-
paradigm with your copium
No,
eyes.
wait. Are you telling me Gibbs-White seemed excited about signing that deal by that video? Are you genuinely
Of course
saying
he
that?
does.
Is that what you got from the video?
Yeah,
The
I just
excitement?
think Gibbs-White is a little embarrassed at the way he's done this towards the Forest fans who we've shown him love and respect for the last 3 years, however long he's been there. And I think he's being a bit sheepish. I don't think he's under duress in that interview. I just think he feels, you know what was I thinking? Look how this club has treated me, given me the platform and everything else. And I just think kind of sense has prevailed.
That is like a hostage video. That is like a
From your
propaganda.
paradigm, bro.
A
Take your Spurs
propaganda.
goggles off and watch it again.
No. I've seen fans from all over the Premier League and all over England talking about it in the same light. The only people that are thinking about it like you're thinking about it is your small sector of Nottingham Forest fans. That's it.
I think
Everyone can see it's what it is.
I've just sent you your WhatsApp. So look at that image someone sent me. That's from a Leicester fan. But I think secretly every single one of you would take Marinakis as your owner. To have an owner that fights for players like that he believes are important to his team, to take on the Premier League, to take on VAR, to take on referees, take on everything else. You would love that kind
Let's
of
talk
owner.
about your owner.
Please,
Wolfie. Let's
I could talk about him all day.
Because this guy has a very sketchy past, and I can understand Gibbs-White taking Marinakis very seriously when you read into some of the allegations surrounding your owner. And this is the guy who owns your football club. I've just done I've got a bit of research into him. Apparently, it says here, Marinakis, owner of Nottingham Forest and Olympiacos, faces long-standing allegations in Greece. The key points: accused of links to a heroin shipment, charged in 2018 with trafficking, but he was acquitted because a witness died suspiciously, per reports from The Guardian and the New Republic.
That is 2 1-ton heroin shipments.
He's got match-fixing allegations, implicated in 2015 scandal, acquitted, recent defamation suits over claims he rigged games and threatened referees, e.g. a referee bakery bombed in 2010. He was banned in 2021 for ref abuse tied to attacks on officials, including beatings. No convictions, but his influence in Greek football raises fears, potentially explaining the Gibbs-White hesitations. That was
soon along those lists, 2025 is going to be holding a player hostage against his will at the club.
This is your owner. This is the things he's accused of.
This again is copium.
I don't want to be involved
This is
with that guy.
copium, bro. What are you
I don't want to
doing?
be anywhere near that guy. I don't want to be anywhere near that
All I
guy.
heard from what you just said there were the words acquitted and allegations, right? If I accused you of stealing my car, does that mean you've stolen my car? Of course not.
If I kill you, so you drop the charges, yeah, probably.
Has Morgan Gibbs-White driven that wedge so deep between us now? No, it's death threats and everything. I just look. I don't care what you say about Marinakis, right? He is the best owner in the Premier League. And if you are going to sit here and tell me
He's a mob boss. He's a mob boss. That's what he is.
And hence why I warned you guys. I warned you guys. You didn't listen. But if you're going to sit here and tell me that any of the 20 owners in the Premier League have these clean slates that are whiter than white, that all their money has come from hard work, sweat, and dedication, cool, the copium's going too far. But everything you said there was allegations and acquittals. And if people died, rip to them. But these things happen. You know what I'm saying?
You sound like a Marinakis spokesperson, his personal lawyer.
Bro, I'm just a Marinakis admirer. Because what this guy has done...
propagandist, that's what you are.
Sports washing, mob boss.
How is it propaganda, man? You guys have just chucked slander and allegations against him.
Slander? This is...
You better hope he's not watching, boys. Because letters could go through that letterbox, right? I'm just saying, this is copium from you guys. Marinakis has never been found guilty of any of this crap that you're slandering him with. And all I care about is what he's doing to my club, taking us from the bottom of the championship to European football, to being a bigger and better club than Spurs, all in a short space of time. And the rise is upwards. And you guys shouldn't be focusing on Marinakis and Forest. You should be looking at the likes of Burnley, the likes of West Ham, Brentford, Leeds, those teams, man, who are probably going to finish in and around you next season. Don't worry about us European kind of teams up there. You'll get a few games in the Champions League, I hear it. But
I guarantee you now, Wolfie, we're going to finish above you next season. I guarantee you now.
It's interesting. It's interesting you say that. Again. You're saying don't talk to a team in Europe and we're in a better European competition than you are.
Yeah, but you're there as participants. Are you
you're
going to win
there
it?
Because you complained about Palace. That's why you're there.
Well, you never complained about Palace.
Yes, you did. That's what Parish says.
No, we didn't. If anything, Palace are now doing the complaining about Forest and Leon.
You complained
We're
to them,
innocent
and they
parties
said if you
in this.
didn't complain, this wouldn't have happened.
So you're naive to think that if Forest hadn't sent a letter, which by the way, you won't be able to tell me what it said in that letter, that Palace right now would be in the Europa League.
That's what Parish thinks. That's not my opinion.
So now you're siding with Parish. Yeah, Parish.
Over a mob boss, yeah.
The guy who doesn't read his emails. At least Marinakis reads emails.
But you're in a tournament that you don't even deserve to be in.
You didn't get there by right.
And?
What do you mean, and?
So you're complaining about us being in a tournament that we earned the right to be in through winning a competition, and yet you're completely overlooking the fact that you didn't earn your spot in your European competition that you're in.
Let me ask you boys this. Let's say you lost to Man U in the Europa League final. I know it's hard to think because of how bad they are, right? But let's play this scenario out. And then Manchester United are found to be in breach of multi-club ownership rules because of their links with Nice. Okay? If they get kicked out, Spurs can go into the Champions League. Would you guys care?
It's irrelevant of caring. That's not the role that we're living in. We're living in a world that we won the Europa League, so we deserve to be in the Champions League.
Yeah, but right now you're living in Marinakis' world, so you got to go with my hypothetical.
I will never be living in Marinakis' world. I ain't going to be bombing no bakeries.
But the fact that neither of you sat there and said absolutely not, we wouldn't want that is kind of the answer.
You're the one saying to us, "Oh, don't chat to us. Chat to Burnley and Leeds." When we're in a higher competition than you, I wouldn't be saying that if I was you.
You can't play that card. You can't play that card.
You're the one who played the card.
Because you lot sacked the man who won you that trophy based on what he did in the league. So that makes that trophy conversation irrelevant because clearly your focus is more on what happened in the league position. Otherwise, Andrew would still be here. So I can talk to you about the league. 10 position gap. That's the difference there.
In a complete one-off season.
In a complete one-off. We'll see, bro. Because right now I'm looking at Spurs thinking, you've made one new signing in Kudos. Okay, you've signed a couple of your loan players. You got that young defender. But have you moved the needle? Because you need to catch me up first. That's 10 players.
We don't need to catch you up in terms of personnel. We've already got a better squad than you. We had a one-off season with unprecedented injuries where we finished 17th last season. We've already got a better squad than you without any signings.
You've lost the Langer.
So why did you finish 17th?
I just told you it was an unprecedented season with unprecedented injuries.
I get that you're saying it's a one-off season, but I think you're kind of spinning the narrative the wrong way. It's a one-off season that you won something. If we look at recent history.
I thought we're talking about the league.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I'm saying. You got your narrative wrong here. In the
No, I
league,
haven't.
you finished 17th. The table doesn't
If it's
lie.
not a one-off season, tell me the last time we finished in this point of the league. This, near 17.
I don't know. I remember you nearly getting relegated. You finished 4 points clear in the mid-90s.
And what year was exactly? You need to go all the way back to the mid-90s.
Okay, but then tell me, what have you actually done in the last 30 years?
That's not the point. What we have
It
done
is the
since
point.
then,
We're here for
since
trophies.
then
We're
has been
here for glory. You're
consistently
meant to be a Big Six
better
club.
than Nottingham Forest by a long, long way. That's what we've
You've
done.
done. In my absence of the Premier League for 23 years, you won 1 Carabao Cup.
Yeah.
What did we do last year?
And you're claiming Big Six status.
What did we do last year?
Finished 17th.
And what did we win? We're here for trophies, right? What did we do last year?
Yeah, so why'd you sack your manager?
That's not my decision. I disagree with it. That's irrelevant. I'm talking about, you would say we're here for trophies. All of a sudden you're changing the narrative. Now we're not here for trophies.
I'm not changing the narrative because the sense of it is you win something since first one since what, 08? Let's sack the manager who did that. First trophy in over 40 years in Europe. Let's sack the manager that did that. The actual psyche in Spurs is weird. It's weird. I actually think Spurs fans think they're a bigger club than they realistically are. You're not a Big Six club. I only actually think there's a Big Four club these days, if we're being realistic. If you look at the transfer window, those 4 teams are moving like crazy, bringing in the players, and the rest of us are sitting there waiting to get the scraps. If we're being real, that's including you and Manchester United. So I think there's going to be a change. I don't think it's a Big Six anymore. I think it's a Big Four.
Well, if you want to know, if you ask your average football fan who the classic Big Six are, Tottenham will be in there.
And if you ask them why, they'll probably tell you because Beyonce turns.
It doesn't matter about why, but they say Spurs will be in there. Spurs are a Big
Because-
Six club. It's
because
just
since,
facts.
Since 2005, we've been in the top 6, like more than we haven't.
Okay, and what has that won you?
Or Europa League.
Okay, so you had to fall out of the top 6 positions to win a trophy. That's so Spursy. That is
Yeah.
so Spursy, man.
Unfortunately, that is what had to happen. So what? How many trophies have you won?
I mean, should I do the classic point at my 2 stars? You got any of those?
I'm talking about the last. You're talking about in the. Okay, we've won.
Well, you're the one talking
Premier Leagues as
historically,
well.
so I can do history.
You're
if
the
you
one
want.
who's saying why we're in the top 6. I'm saying because we've been in the top 6 for the last 20 years, apart from maybe 3 or 4 years.
All right, let me ask you boys this, right? Because you've got Thomas Frank in now. Yeah, there's a bit of, good feeling in the Spurs fan base and what have you. Would you take finishing 6th this season and winning the Carabao Cup? Would you say that would be a successful season?
6 in Carabao Cup, yeah, I'll probably take
Yeah,
that.
probably.
Would you want Thomas Frank out?
No.
So he would have performed technically worse than Ange did when you look at kind of add up the tally at the end of the season.
In his first season, I mean, I'll take 6 in a Carabao Cup than 5th and nothing.
Okay. I just think it's weird.
That's
Like,
weird.
Yeah, I just think like you would have technically had a worse season because you won the Europa League, you got into the Champions League,
Sorry, I can't
you
hear.
sack your manager, but you would happy to finish 6th for the Carabao Cup. All right, what about no Carabao Cup? Would you take 6th this season as a position finish? No trophies.
For Frank's first season, yeah, I think 5th or 6th is where we should be finishing this season, yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
Why does that not make sense?
Because you're telling me it was all Ange's fault, or not you specifically, I'm talking the Spurs fans. It's all Ange's fault. The squad is there, good players. You still got the pull, you got Kudos in, etc. And you'd settle for 6th with no trophy. That would be what, a Europa League spot?
Look, I'll settle for it. It's not that that's what I'm dying for this season. Obviously, I'd want another trophy and I want to finish in the top 4. But I'm realistic to know where we're at this moment in time. And I think the top 4 are pushing away from everyone. And I think 5th or 6th will be a very good season.
So if you finish 6th with no trophy, is that a better or worse season than last season?
Sorry, you keep breaking up, Wolfie.
Oh, can you hear me?
No, it's our fault. It's our fault. There's something wrong with these headphones. One sec. Speak.
Testing. 1, 2.
It's gone.
1, 2, 3.
Don't know what to do. Wolfie. Can you hear him?
Testing. Testing.
No, mine, this
Oh,
is
it's my one. I can hear him now.
Yeah. Can you hear me okay?
But only I can hear him. So it must be this thing. Must be this thing. That's the problem. Go on, test it again.
Testing. 1, 2.
Yeah, I can hear now.
Yep. You know
Go
what I'm
on, what
saying?
were you
So
saying?
if you finished sixth this season with
I
no
can't hear him
trophy,
anymore.
we're gone.
Yeah, go on now. You can hear.
Yeah. If you finish sixth this season with no trophy, is that
Yeah.
a better or a worse season than
The
what
last
you-
season,
Yeah.
it depends, man. I think you got to take into account everything that goes on in the course of a season. Like, it's not just about, what if we get to the semi-finals of the Champions League or something like that? Or you know what I mean? We have a deep run into the Champions League. If we don't have all those injuries, we would never have finished 17th last year. We would have finished around 5th or 6th last season. 7th, maybe.
Really?
Yeah, we probably would not. Maybe not 5th or 6th, maybe 7th, I reckon. 7th or 8th last season.
Yeah, but okay. So which is it?
Which is what? What do I think?
Sixth, no trophy, or what you did last season?
What would I prefer as a fan, or what's objectively a better season?
I guess both. I'm not even trolling you guys here. I think this is an interesting question. Because some Forest fans are saying, would you take finishing 17th and win the Europa and do a Spurs next season?
I
Do you know
don't
what I
think
mean?
I
I
would
think it's an
take. I
interesting
don't think.
question.
Well, obviously we're not in the Europa next season, so
No, I'm saying from my paradigm, Forest fans are
I'm
saying
just saying
that.
I wouldn't swap that 9 Bilbao in the parade for a 5th.
yeah.
for
But
a
would you
5th
do it
place
again?
finish.
Would you do it again next season? He's asking.
If it was the Champions League,
No, for Europa League.
would I do it again for next season, the Europa League? Maybe not.
I don't think I would. I wouldn't go for 2 back-to-back 17th place finishes for 2 trophies. No.
Would you do it for the Champions? Surely you'd do it for
Yeah,
the
I'll
Champions.
do it for the Champions League.
Yeah,
I'll
sure.
definitely do it for
Yeah.
the Champions League. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's an interesting one, isn't it? It's like, does the
Would
trophy
you take
hold
finishing
weight?
17th to win the FA Cup?
Nah, not the FA Cup. I've already got 2 of those.
How old were you when you got 2 of those FA Cups?
I wasn't born, bro.
Oh, you weren't even born. Okay.
How old were you when you won the league?
You haven't seen any FA Cups.
How old were you when you won the league?
I'm not sitting here flexing it.
What then? What did it not happen? Did Forest not have 2 FA Cups? That's like it
They
still
do have
happens.
2 FA Cups, but
Yeah.
there's nothing that you can remember. You weren't up and down the Nottingham High Street celebrating it.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether I was alive or not. It still happens. But would I take that scenario? I would. You know, I would. Give me 17th, win the Europa League. I can then go the next year, get my 3rd star.
So you would take Spurs' season last season.
Yeah.
All right. That's it then. There you go.
Why is that shocking? Surely there are
It's
Spurs
not
fans
shocking.
that
It's just very revealing.
trophies, bro. Right.
Exactly.
Trophies, innit?
Mhm.
You gotta
Agreed.
take it. Finishing second, third, fourth, or 5th last season was the exact same thing technically you did in terms of what you get, but you got a trophy with it.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
So you're jealous of our season last year, basically. This is what you want.
I wouldn't say jealous. I said I'd take it.
Sounds pretty jealous. I want
Ah.
Spurs' season this season. That's what you said.
No, I said I would
I
take
want
Spurs
it.
this season. I didn't say I want it. I said I'd take it. Yeah. The reality is, I think we can do it, the normal way. So we might do that. But yeah, I'm trying to cheer you boys up. I'm feeling bad. You both look dejected.
Where do you think Forest are finishing this season?
Head of Spurs.
You want to bet on that?
I'm Muslim, bro. I don't bet.
Oh yeah, we've already been through this.
No, realistically,
Wolfie.
I think Forest finish probably the same position, about 7th.
I think
Because
we'll finish above you for sure.
I'll tell you why.
I don't think you finished 7th.
Guaranteed we
higher?
finish above you.
No, lower.
100%.
I don't get where that hopium's coming from.
It's coming from because it's just what always happens apart from one season. One off season.
Yeah, but you got to look at it objectively.
I don't even
That's
think
the
you
key
finish in
thing.
the top half.
Why? Who's finishing in the bottom half ahead of us?
In the top half ahead of you. So I think the top four.
Yeah.
Then I think Spurs, Newcastle, Villa are fighting out for that 5th spot. So I think those 3 will be in a row. So that's already,
7.
what is that, 7?
And then Brentford, Brighton, no, we'll score Bournemouth.
Nah, I think
Brighton.
Brentford are going to be in a relegation
Not
scrap
Brentford.
this
Agreed.
year.
I mean,
They got no
Bournemouth,
players left.
Brighton,
Huh? Bournemouth, Brighton will be ahead of
probably
you.
Fulham, maybe.
Bournemouth and Brighton. Bournemouth had their defence ripped out.
Yeah, I still think they're going to finish ahead of you.
Okay.
Brighton, well, they'll finish above Bournemouth. They'll finish above you. And who else is there? I don't know. Maybe you'll be there around 9th, 10th.
So that would be top half then.
Yeah, maybe another team will sneak in there, but you'll be around mid-table, bottom half of top.
I'm
half of
just
bottom.
look, boys. I'm just trying to be objective about your situation here, right? You've got a new
Palace,
manager.
Palace will be
United,
above you.
Man
Man United will be
Palace,
above you.
Palace
Yeah.
will miss fixtures, man. They'll don't check their emails. They'll think, oh crap, we were meant to play there.
And
what
they'll
happened?
still finish above you.
Nah, they won't. Palace always finish 12th anyway, man. Look, if you look at your current situation, let's be real here, right? You've got Thomas Franken with his
Yeah.
backroom staff,
Yeah.
who has never really been in a European battle in the Premier League. So it's unknown to him. He's never played in the Champions League and he's never won a trophy. So there's a lot of unknowns there. When you look at your squad, you've only added Kudos, who is a quality player. Yes,
Yeah.
but he had a bad season last season. Is that continuing, or will you see the Kudos from 2 seasons ago? So outside of that, those are the only elements that have really changed. The rest of the squad is still the same.
That's
the rest
quite
of the
big.
squad,
That's quite big change, though. That's quite big change. It's a complete change in the way that we play. A lot
but
of the
change
players,
isn't
I think,
always
will-
good.
But I think the changes will impact positively to Thomas Frank. It's the best kind of caliber of player that he's ever worked with. You look at our players compared to your players. I think man for man in every position, or in definitely most positions, we're better than you in.
No, you're not.
On the bench and on the pitch.
No, you're not.
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
How are we not?
Okay, my keeper's better than your keeper.
Sells is better. I mean, our sub keeper's probably better than Sells.
Really? Did your sub keeper get Golden Glove last
No,
year?
to be fair, Sells is a very good keeper, but I mean that one's kind of hit or miss. But you look at everywhere else. Oh, my right back's better than your right back by
Is
far.
he? Einar is better than Einar, is he?
By far,
No chance.
there is no chance anyone is swapping Ola Aina for Pedro Porro.
Really?
No chance in the world.
Really? Man City tried to get him in the summer.
There is no chance.
No, he didn't.
Okay. Is your striker better than mine? How did Solanke do last season?
I'm telling you, if you could swap Solanke for Chris Wood right now, you would do it.
I would not swap. I hate
Yes,
Solanke.
you would.
Nuno would.
Chris Wood had a one-off season. Both my centre-backs are better than both your centre-backs.
Really? Better than
Romero,
Milenkovic?
World Cup winner, is better. Mickey van der Ven is better. And I know
than
your two
Murillo.
centre-backs are probably the best 2 players in your team. But our
Your-
centre-backs are much
One of your
better.
left backs is one of my rejects, bro. Like, what are we doing here? Spence.
Spence, he's our
Yeah.
backup right back.
Is Johnson better than Alanga? I know he's not there, but we're
Alanga's
comparing
not there,
what we
so
have.
Alanga's not there anymore. So.
You're trying
know,
to
I
put
know.
in someone that you sold already.
I'm just saying, like, we can do that.
Why would Alanga help you?
Is Gibbs-White better than Madison?
You said he wasn't, so I'm going to go by your logic.
Well, what do you say, though? What do you say,
You
though?
said I'm going by your logic. You said he wasn't, so we're going to go.
Yeah,
with
I don't
Madison.
think he is, but what do you think?
Yeah, I don't think he is.
Okay, we can agree on that one then.
My left back is better than your left back.
Who's your left back? Doggy.
Doggy.
Yeah,
Who's your
okay,
left-
I'll give
who's
you a
your left
doggy.
back? I didn't
My
remember
left
that.
wing is better than yours.
Who Hudson-Odoi?
Hudson and I mean, can Son still run?
He
Or are
Son
you
probably
putting
still,
Towel there?
Son probably still got more goal contributions in his worst season than Hudson-Odoi.
But would you take Son off?
A washed Sonny is better than Hudson Odoi, I'll tell you that.
No, it's not. It's
And
not.
Sonny ain't even washed.
One player who might get in, I would say, is Elliot Anderson. I think he'd be the only
Elliot
one.
Anderson gets in
I'd
definitely.
say he might be the only one.
I can't believe you would take one player. So you're saying you take one player, gets in your starting 11?
I think so, yeah.
That is so disingenuous, boys.
No, it's not.
It is based on what you saw last season of your players.
I'm just
You
saying
would
based on
take one.
quality of player. It's not a player's career, and you can't define a player on just one season.
Agreed.
And Wolfie, you know, when you didn't have Europe, right? When we didn't have Europe, we finished 5th. You know that. So we finished higher than you did.
Bro, if you didn't have Europe, you'd have had a disaster of a season last year.
No, we wouldn't. We would have been much higher in the league.
Just all hypotheticals, boys. All
What are you talking
hypotheticals.
about? You didn't have Europe last year. You finished 7th. The year before we didn't. We finished 5th.
Okay, but we're talking about last year. You
Yeah,
finished
I know.
17th. You finished
I'm
17th.
aware of that. I'm aware
So
of that.
do you think then, because are you doing the whole and said I'm only focusing on Europe thing?
Sorry, you're broken up again, Wolfie.
Oh, hello?
Here, go on.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're doing the whole and focused on Europe thing, but you guys
We
just
did.
told me you had injuries. So would those
Both-
players have
both
not
are
been
true.
injured?
Both are true.
That's why he had to focus on Europe because of
Yeah,
the
but surely
injuries.
if they were injured, they'd be out for Europe.
Well, they
and for the
came
league.
back. They came back just before the quarterfinals. That's when
Yeah.
our players started coming back.
And he
Okay,
put the-
so when
he
they were
played them all
injured in the
Europe.
first half of the season,
Mhm.
so you can't use that injury excuse is what I'm saying. Either they're
not?
injured and that is an excuse, or you would have finished higher up the table irrespective
Our
of the
injuries started in around what, November time? Around November. Out all for the busy part of the season, December, where we had games every 2 games a week. And
Where were
everything
you in
going into
November?
January.
Where were you in November in the
We
league?
were not far off the top 5,
We
I
were
think.
6th. We were 6th in November. Well,
Were ya?
we beat Man City 4-0, and we were 6th.
Okay. I can't remember, so I'll take your word for it.
Hmm.
Yeah. But the bottom line is Gibbs-White stays.
Yeah, Gibbs
Were
White
you-
is
were you
staying.
guys-
Enjoy
Joking
your
aside-
1 year. Enjoy your 1 year with Gibbs-White.
Yeah, no,
Wolfie.
I agree. I wouldn't be surprised if he still goes this summer.
And
'Cause we've
he's
seen that
gonna be
happen before, haven't we?
disillusioned. He's going to be
Elise left.
disillusioned. Yeah, true. No, he did. He waited. I think they had to wait. a year.
One more year, didn't he, Elise?
Did he wait? I can't remember. Was it one more
He's
year?
going to be disillusioned. His head's not going to be right. You're going to be like, why is Gibbs-White not playing as good as he was last season? And it's going to be because he's downing tools. He wants to leave. He doesn't want to be there. And his price is going to plummet. You're going to have to take less than 60 million next summer.
Okay, boys. I'll let you have that copium.
That's how I see things. That's how I see it.
Look. Sorry, go.
Oof. No, I was just about to say, always a pleasure, my friend, to have you on.
Anytime, boys.
Next
It's always
time,
good to banter.
next time will be when we take your next best player in a couple of years' time. Brennan Johnson was a few years ago. It was nearly Gibbs-White this summer, but Marinakis has got something over him. And in a couple of years, we'll see who the next one is that we're going to take.
Boys, as long as you come and legally approach them, I'm going to have that conversation.
All right, mate.
Nice one,
We'll
Wolfie.
speak to you soon, Wolfie.
Pleasure as always, boys. All the best.
See you later, mate.
That's it.
And that was Wolfie from Forest Fan TV. We got some super chats to get into. What's this one? This one is from Close to Europe saying, what do you think about Bassi? Think he'd be good?
Bassi
Come on,
from
you
Fulham.
Spurs. It's not someone we need right now.
Yeah, I don't know about Bassi. I don't think he's bad, but I don't think he's particularly fantastic either. Like, I think he's just like a bog standard centre back. I don't think he's any better than what we got right now.
Seba says, can someone stop inviting this deluded Nottingham Forest fan, please?
I think that'll be his last one until the next.
I think he invited himself on today, didn't he? Eddie Bennett says, never have this guy on the show again. Now, Wolfie's a good guy at the end of the
He's
day.
all
It's
right,
just
he's
all
all
banter at the end of the day. Jaden McCalla says, let's move on. He's boring. Wolfie the Waffler.
Wolfie the Waffler.
Seba says, 18 major trophies 12 versus 12 major trophies. Deluded fan.
Yeah, he talks about trophies when we've got more. I don't know what is his argument.
Jacko with the super chat, no comment, but he has sent another one in here saying, just to test his logic, if Forest finished 17th and won the Europa and Burnley finished 15th, would that mean Burnley are a bigger club than Forest?
Exactly. And he admitted anyway he wanted our season.
It's like he's clowning the whole time. He's clowning on our season last year. Then I go, well, would you take Spurs season? Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Malware says Spurs made this guy a villain. Get his bro on.
Yes,
yeah,
we
where
need to
is
get-
Wolfie's bro,
We need to get him
man?
and his brother on together. That's what we need.
Or just his brother.
Yeah, or just his brother. Yeah, you're right.
Eon 182 says, "Where's your stupid jibes and jokes about Mr. Marinakis? Now, lads, Morgan Gibbs-White stays. I told you last week he wasn't leaving."
Yeah,
Marinakis is holding a hostage right now. Someone call the police.
Literally.
Faz Radfar says, "Are we building a new injury list again already?" Yeah, exactly. We need to talk about that, actually, because every single preseason game, someone seems to pull out before.
It's getting there.
Solanke didn't even make the list of the starting lineups yesterday. What is going on with these injuries already? We've barely kicked the ball.
The Reading game, I don't know if it was a mistake or what happened, but initially Vicario was starting and then Kinski. But it wasn't like Vicario was injured.
Yeah.
I don't think so anyway. But Solanke's picked up a knock, Doggy's picked up a knock. So already we're on what? We're on like 5 injuries now with Madison, Decky, Dragoshin, Doggy and Solanke now.
Yeah.
This medical team, man. God's sake,
I thought they knew.
Yeah, well, doesn't matter apparently. I don't know what we're doing wrong. Look, to be fair, players get injuries. Let's just hope it doesn't mount too big.
Yeah.
But knowing Tottenham, you hear it's a knock, and then the next update, they're out for 5 months.
Yeah. All right, let's get into reacts and react to everything that's happened in the last 12 to 24 hours. It's just an absolute kick in the teeth when we saw it all. After being so confident, you know, both of us sitting here every day saying it's going to happen, it's going to happen. We just need a bit of patience. And then they came in and absolutely knock us out for 6. But we got a few things. Got stuff from the friendly yesterday's, the 2 friendlies, and also Gibbs-White stuff. So the first one is from THFC Manstrict saying some beautiful dribbling from Kudus yesterday, and this was there against Luton. That was, in terms of our attacking play yesterday, that was pretty much the only thing to take away from it, was a bit of nice dribbling from Kudus with not much at the end of it, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, he had that one chance off the line, didn't he, at one point?
Yeah, that was from a nice ball from Tell. Yeah,
nice ball behind. I think Kudus, there was a couple of times where he'd take the ball in, he would just run inside past 3 players and then play the ball out wide or something. It didn't come to anything, but he was the only one that was at least a bit exciting. Other than that, it was so hard to watch yesterday. Frank, after the game, said he was asked about, is he happy about both games, and he said fitness-wise, I'm happy, but he said fitness-wise, I'm happy, but he said that second game showed we got a lot to work on. He said, so I think that was clearly a indication of what he thought of our performance.
Yeah. Shining light yesterday in the Wickham game was Thompson. Not many people had heard about him from the academy. Came on with about half an hour, 35 minutes to go, and he actually was really good out on that left-hand side. Showed trickery on the ball, showed direct play, good passing. He got an assist. Did he got an assist yesterday? I thought he looked really exciting.
Yeah, and I was really impressed. He came on obviously with he was still with the first team as well when he was on the pitch, and he made an instant impact, getting on the ball, driving people, fearless. Didn't know about this kid obviously before he came on, but really, really exciting talent. It seemed there was a moment he cuts inside a couple of players, had a shot just wide from the edge of the area. Definitely one to keep an eye on. And the assist, a little 1-2 with Sarr, then picked him out as well with a nice pass. So looking forward to seeing more of him.
And this guy, Luca Williams-Barnett, I mean, everyone's been talking about him over the past year or so with the Spurs under-18, scored so many goals, assists. I think there's been one couple from the halfway line. And again, he made his first appearance for the Spurs senior team in the friendly against Wickham. And he didn't get on the ball that many times, but I thought when he did get on the ball, again, looked very, very exciting.
Yeah, and this run obviously won that free kick, very close to winning a penalty as well. Showed what he's all about. Unfortunately, only got 15 minutes, so hopefully next time we get to see him, it's a bit longer. I don't know if he's going to go on the tour or not, but he's been much talked about, and you could see why. With that little run. Obviously, he's still so young, but this kid, a lot of talk about him at the moment.
And then this guy, Oh, that is Thompson. So just all things Tottenham saying first time watching him today, looks like he's got a really big future ahead of him. And yeah, he definitely does. This was a little funny moment with Bissouma and Spence watching the Wickham game from the sidelines. Bissouma just gets the phone and he goes, "I'm just watching the game with my mate, a doggy." Spence is just like, "Fuck's sake, man."
That is brilliant.
This one yesterday, this was the view a Spurs fan had of their friendly from the friendly at Luton.
How did they charge for tickets for that? That's crazy. That's nuts. There's a spider on the pole. He's staring at a spider as well. That's
mental.
nuts. Apparently as well, it didn't even say restricted view on the.
Oh, it did it not?
Which is insane. How is that a view? I can't.
Luckily, my view was a bit better than that yesterday. Not that you needed much.
No,
Probably did him a
honestly,
favour, the poll.
Exactly. It's probably that spider's probably more interesting.
Johan Lang on his phone versus Spurs v Wickham. Hopefully he's doing some transfers. I mean, we bloody need it right now.
Yeah, he's coming on
Bloody
fire a
need
bit
it.
now after, getting a lot of praise for working in the shadows, getting the Gibbs-White and Kudus deals. Now Gibbs-White's fallen through. It's like, okay, now wasted a couple of weeks. What the hell are you going to do? Got to move on.
Yeah. ONTHFC says line up for PSG in the Super Cup. Quietly confident we can nick it. Doué, Hazard, Bowen, Eze, Grealish, and Luis Diaz all on the bench as super subs too. So David Raya in goal, Kim Min-jae, Ruben Diaz, and Bastoni in a back three. Koundé and Kostic as the wing backs. Gibbs-White, Bruno Fernandes in the middle of the park with Willian, Kvaratskhelia, and Dybala up top. Literally the 11 signing that we just fumbled. Plus all those players on the bench as well.
11. Oh, it's so painful to look at that. Look at some of the players in that team. Oh man. God, Gibbs-White, another one added to the list.
And no context Tottenham. It's Gibbs-White behind bars, man.
I've never seen
He
a
is
more fake
literally
smile.
in Nottingham jail right
That
now.
is literally a fake smile.
Nottingham Penitentiary. Unbelievable. Pro Tottenham. This is literally what it felt like. So this is what I had in my mind, right, when I was watching that interview with Marinakis just hovering over him, hand behind his back. He's definitely got some sort of weapon behind his back there.
I've never seen anything like it. When was the last time you saw a player announce he's like a new contract with the owner hovering over them and the player constantly praising the owner? Yes, Mr. Marinakis.
And Marinakis just had such a weird aura about him, like as well. Like whilst he was watching over, like just look how uncomfortable he looks.
Yeah, the body language. The body language is not. I'm not a body language expert, but if you're looking at that, he's got his arms folded. He doesn't seem like he's happy to be there. He's not really smiling. He doesn't seem excited to sign. He doesn't have like a big smile on his face. He's like he looks like he's trying to say the wrong things. You can see Marinakis is just looking at him as well off camera. He looks really uncomfortable. He really does.
And not one mention of like playing for his manager or anything like that. Just always referring to Mr. Marinakis. Like 4 times in the first 30 seconds or something stupid, he mentions Marinakis. And it's definitely, instruction to do that. Like he doesn't just come out after signing a contract, go, yeah, Mr. Marinakis this, Mr. Marinakis that, Mr. Marinakis this. Like,
very strange.
This is all scripted.
When do you ever see a player signing and they mention the owner so much?
Never.
It's really odd. It's not about the owner. It should be about the manager.
Especially after a player's like literally pushed to move and agreed personal terms with 2 other clubs in the last few months.
He can barely bring himself to smile. It's like he just doesn't look happy. Look, he's like not smiling at all, really, throughout this whole interview.
All I got from watching this, it just felt like I was watching a hostage video. That's all it felt like. Just mad.
Yeah, I think I do. Looking at that, I think Marinakis threatened legal action against him. I think that's what's happened. That's kind of my theory.
Someone needs to look into this further, man. There's something dodgy going on behind the scenes over there. There's something really dodgy, and yeah, let's pray for Morgan, man.
You can't put anything past Marinakis.
Nah. Invert the Wing says, I've been following Spurs extensively for 2 years now. I do not know how you lot have done it your entire life without ending up in a mental asylum. I applaud you. I applaud your strength.
We're not far off.
We're not far off. Simply Spurs says, these jokes are about Arsenal now and not Tottenham. And Paddy Power said, breaking news, Victor Gyökeres has confirmed his retirement from winning any further silverware.
Our life has changed forever. Fantastic. So good that it's all about Arsenal now. Oh man, it feels great. It feels great.
Lily White Rose says, love seeing Janai Beifeld make his debut today. Also made his under-21 debut on Tuesday night at Orient. So he came on for the last 25 minutes for Kevin Danso. I think he was the first sub that we made yesterday. I was so impressed. 16 years of age. This guy is. And he came on. He was really good on the ball. Looked big. He looked strong. Unbelievable. Another centre-back to the ranks.
I know. We're stacked in that position. This kid as well looks really, really talented. He came on and didn't look out of place at all, and looked confident. There was even times he was confident enough to take the ball into the Luton half as well and try and force issue from that way. Really impressive cameo. So another one. I mean, look, we're saying we're going for a golden generation. There's so many talented players to be excited about at the moment in the Tottenham Academy. So I think you can add him to the list.
Just bizarre tactic says Ange Postecoglou was in the stadium watching Spurs v Wickham one last time, and it was so funny. He kept walking in front of the away end, this guy, and we've seen him a lot. Obviously he's a staff member at Spurs, and the away end started singing "Oh, Ange Postecoglou" to him, and he just turned around and gave it a bit of a grin.
Phenomenal.
These were the stats for the Spurs Luton game. Look at this. They had 11 shots to our 2. And one shot on target for us, 2 for them. They were the better team yesterday.
Yeah. Kinski, if Kinski didn't make that save, we probably would have lost.
Yeah.
It's not like Luton battered us. It's just it was a poor game all round. But yeah, they looked way more threatening than we did.
Yeah. Jamie Kent says, Eberechi Eze when Tottenham try calling him again.
100% that's going to be his reaction. Oh, God. He's our only hope.
Yeah. Sky Sports with the Morgan Gibbs-White interview, just the quote that they've put, I felt the love. You didn't feel no love. You felt like a hostage. That's what you felt like.
You felt the threats. God. And it's just so funny how they pan to after 5 seconds they pan to Marinakis there, he's just staring over, he's like an evil Bond villain and mob boss. God.
World of Hotspur says, we can moan all we want. Ultimately, Nottingham Forest have an owner far more ambitious and far more invested in his club than Daniel Levy. Once again, we are the laughing stock of Europe. Do you think Marinakis is a lot more ambitious than Daniel Levy?
I don't think Levy would have gone that far to stop a player leaving. I think he would have taken the money. So, I mean, is it ambition? Yeah, probably. I don't know. It's hard. How do you quantify ambition? Who do I think is putting their clubs in a better position to compete long term? I think. Look, Marinakis has done really well, to be fair, at Forest in terms of just on that front. So I don't know. Is he more ambitious than Daniel Levy? Yeah, probably. To be honest, he probably does really want to do all these things, but
you got to look at both the chairman's starting points as well.
Yeah,
Marinakis was in the Championship.
The thing is, he's been good, but is he? In 5 years' time, is Forest still going to be there? You know what I mean? Or if Forest could be, could they have a relegation behind them? Are they going to be back in the bottom half, kind of thing? And then are we still going to be talking about their ambition if that happens? Look, if they can sustain this and they could even potentially kick on, then yeah. But with how many times we've seen a club like Forest do this and then they can't last? Yeah. It doesn't last more than a season or two, and they're back in the bottom half. So I'm not going to sit here just yet just because he finished 7th once and say, okay, he's now more ambitious than Levy. But we know one of the big criticisms of Levy is his ambition. So.
Yeah, but it's not. I think for Marinakis, everything that you're saying is true, but it is not for the want of trying. The way they've come up from the Championship and handled their business is completely different to every other club that you see come up. They made so many. He's definitely put his money where his mouth is. You know what I mean?
That's true.
HLTCO says just 4 mentions of Mr. Marinakis in the opening 45 seconds of this while he stands just out of shot is superb.
He just looks so awkward, Gibbs-White, as well. He's just you can see he's very aware of that Marinakis is there, and he's just trying to make sure he says the right thing. He just looks really, really awkward. I've never seen it's so odd that they did it like this. Maybe do you think it's like a power play from Marinakis, basically just being there in front of the camera and say, look what I've done, I've made him stay. Even the announcement said we have a statement from Marinakis to confirm Gibbs-White. I mean, it's such an odd way of announcing a contract extension. It's not like we are delighted to announce Gibbs-White has extended his contract. It's like Marinakis is now announcing that he has got
the dictator of Nottingham.
Exactly, that he has got Gibbs-White to announce. It's like, this is all very, very strange and very odd, but this is all clear. It's so like. But it's the thing is, it's like so like clearly all like Marinakis, like his fingerprints all over this, everything that they're doing. It's like, couldn't they have been a bit more subtle about it? You know what I mean? Clearly, I don't think they want to be. Clearly, Marinakis wants to be front and centre.
When we got the Europa League spot off Palace, they should have put out a statement that says, thanks to Marinakis, we've got that Europa League spot for next season. I mean, the dictator of Nottingham at it once again. But George Stokey G says, Mr. Marinakis. Unbelievable, man.
God, he's a Stoke fan, so Wolfie says only Tottenham fans are feeling this way. No, like everyone can see this for what it is. It's just like very clear.
And then the last one on this topic is no context Prem. God, man. Mr. Marinakis.
God.
And last but not least, Pedro Porro had a bit of a twerking session on before the Wickham game.
Honestly, don't know what he was doing. I don't know if it's a weird stretch, or I don't know what he's. It's very odd from Porro, but maybe it's going to be a new pre-game ritual. I'm lost for words, really. What is he doing? He seems to be doing it to the camera as well. I don't know. It's just very strange.
But yeah, that is it. That is how the internet did react to the whole Morgan Gibbs-White situation and Spurs' pre-seasons yesterday. We thought we would give player ratings and all that a bit of a hard pass today because there was just nothing to go on. Literally nothing.
A bit of news, though. George Abbott?
George Abbott, yeah, signed his new contract, which is brilliant news because I thought he was one of the standouts yesterday out of the two friendlies.
I think that's quite interesting because we're talking about Devine potentially leaving permanently, and other players, obviously Keeley's left, Phillips obviously gone on loan. We'll have to wait and see what their plan is for Abbott, but clearly, Frank has been with him for a few weeks. He started him against Wickham, and based off that, he said, I want to give this guy a contract. So do we think maybe Frank is thinking this guy could really be part of the first? Maybe not next year, but down the line. Maybe even next year. Who knows?
Definitely. I think.
He was impressive.
I think so. Yeah. No, I think so, and I think that his development is really starting to go up levels at this moment in time because you remember at the back end of last season when we were all talking about the players that we're so excited for next season. No one really mentioned George Abbott, even though he was so central to that under 21 team and how they did, and he scored that mad goal against Chelsea in the semi-final and captained the side quite a number of times, and no one was really talking about him. He kind of slipped under the radar a little bit.
And Notts County as well.
So he got his loan spell to Notts County, but even when he got that loan spell, everyone's like, oh, I'm going to see what Donnelly's doing. I want to see what Keeley's doing. I want to see what this one Devine's doing. I want to see what Vuskovic is doing. But no one's saying, oh, I want to see what George Abbott is doing. And just quietly going about his business, had a stunning season, got scored some brilliant goals for Notts County. And then he's come in pre-season. He's done the business as well. So, I mean, this guy's a proper Tottenham boy, by the way. He comes from a proper Tottenham family. Was at the club at a very young age. So I'll be delighted for him.
Is he the number 6 we're looking for?
Look, I don't know about that, but I think he's got a big future for Spurs. Yeah. I really do.
I was very impressed with his performance against Wickham. I thought he stepped in. It was probably one of the better midfielders.
Mature performance as well, wasn't it?
Really good. So much energy, strength, good tackles. So, yeah, I'm really happy for him that he's got that new contract, and I think that's maybe Tottenham showing we really believe in you.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so as well. And look, whether he goes out on loan or he is part of the first team next year, it's exciting times for George Abbott. But look, let's talk about it. Where the hell do we go from here now? Because you look at it and you look at the window that we've had. We've got Kota Takai in, we've got Mohamed Kudus in, and those two signings kind of in isolation, I think are really good signings for us. I think Kudus moves the needle for us in terms of the front line or at right wing. Kota Takai, if we would have signed him or not signed him, I don't really think it kind of moves the needle, but it's I think he's a good player and I think he's got a big future ahead of him, but it's just another one of those kind of signings. But
Vuskovic could be ahead of him right now.
100%. So look, I have no problem with the Kota Takai signing, but I don't think we can use it as being like, look, we're going places and we're going to really, push the boat out for next season. We're going to be challenging the top four and whatever. When you're looking at our business right now, well, we're sitting here 27th of July. We're about to go on tour in a few days' time. The Super Cup is in 2.5 weeks or something, 3 weeks'
13th
time.
of August.
Yeah, so it's very, very close. Not much has changed in terms of this window. Everyone's talking about this investment. There's this, there's that. We're going to push the boat out this summer. Not much has progressed this summer.
Well,
That's the reality.
Because we've been stuck on this deal for the last 2 weeks. I don't know if this decision from Gibbs-White has taken Tottenham by surprise or not, or if this is something that maybe they heard was happening and they've already moved on. I doubt it. I reckon they were expecting this to go through and they were expecting it to, we didn't hear any suggestion, did we, that we didn't think this was going to happen eventually and Tottenham would get their man. But clearly, obviously, that deal's dead now and we have to very quickly move on. But the problem is we've now potentially fallen behind for other players. Could we have gone quicker for Eze if this deal wasn't in the pipeline? There's potentially other players looking in that position that we could have gone for. So we're in a bit of trouble now. Clearly, we wanted at least 2 players in before the tour, and I think we were earmarking Gibbs-White as one of those players. So the fact that he's not going to be there now is a massive blow. And when it comes to who do we go for now, and also it puts a lot of other clubs on alert who we're looking to buy from, because they know we're willing to spend 60 million essentially in our budget on one player potentially in that position. So any club we go to now, if we're looking for a player in that position within reason, they'll know that we had that 60 million bid. Well, we were going to sign Gibbs-White for 60 million. So does that put us in a weaker position from a negotiation standpoint when these clubs are demanding more money? That's obviously a big problem. If it was Gibbs-White that we earmarked, are we looking for a similar profile to Gibbs-White? How many profiles of players like him are there that we're looking for? That's also quite a big issue, I would say. I mean, someone like maybe Jacob Ramsey, but Ramsey's not like, as good as him at all. I don't know. He's quite a unique profile, Gibbs-White. A very good ball carrier who can play in the 10, play in different positions, very hard worker off the ball, but also very good in like transition and really quick passer. It's going to be tough to replace, to go with an alternative to someone like Gibbs-White if that was the kind of profile we're looking for. So I don't know. I mean, Eze, is he still on course for Arsenal? That's gone very quiet. If we're willing to spend 60 million on Gibbs-White, are we willing to spend 68 on Eze? Is that something we're willing to do?
Eze's going to go to Arsenal.
I know, but it's gone quiet, I'm saying, at the moment. I don't know what's going on there.
Well, it's just piped up again in the last 24 hours.
Who's been? I haven't seen it.
I think Romano's been talking about it and a few other people have been talking about it. It's going to happen.
Okay, so if that's out the door, then I don't know where we go. Like, in terms of Prem proven, if that was what we're looking for. Because we were talking about before we signed Kudus, right? That the players are getting snapped up quickly. These players who are from gettable teams who are Prem proven. Obviously, Gibbs-White we didn't even know was an option, and he turned out to be one, but now he's off the table. So if we are going to go for a Prem proven player, obviously João Palhinha, but he's a number 6. He's not Gibbs-White's position. I don't really know what kind of player. If Eze's off the table, what kind of attacking player in a similar position to Gibbs-White is possible? We'd probably have to start looking outside the Premier League.
For me, it's so frustrating as well because you're seeing like all these players, right, really pushing for moves. And it was clear to see that Gibbs-White did want to move. He agreed personal terms with Man City the back end of last season. He's literally agreed personal terms with us 3 weeks ago. Why didn't he push for a move? What has Marinakis got over him so much? Like, where's the backbone from Gibbs-White? Like, if he really wants to move, why not actually like push the boat out and try and make the move happen? Like, everything was done. He was about to come for us with a medical. Like, it was clear that he doesn't want to stay there. Why is he signing this contract? Like, I just don't understand the whole situation. Like, did he use us actually just to get this bigger contract? Like, could that be a situation?
I think, well, look, my theory is Marinakis is threatening him with legal action over the break of the discretion clause in the release clause fee, and that there was a lack of what's the word? I can't remember. A lack of not discretion, but keeping it secret. I can't remember what the word is, but I think he breached that clause. And I think,
and if he's found guilty of it, and Marinakis takes legal action, then what's going to happen? What, he gets a fine?
I don't know maybe, I don't know. I've never heard of anything happening like that before.
He's not going to go to jail, is he? So you're like,
not jail, but it's a breach of the clause.
So is he going to get? He's going to get a fine. He'll get a fine. You know what I mean? That's it.
I don't know. I don't know what the punishment is.
So why is he so scared about this? Like, why is it so?
Yeah,
Why is he so scared about breaking an NDA? Like, if he's going to move on from Marinakis and join Spurs, then what's there to be scared of? Like, I just don't get it.
I couldn't tell you that. I don't know what.
Surely the
punishment is.
maximum is he'll get a fine.
Probably how big that fine is, I don't know. And you could say Tottenham could pay it, but I don't know if they're willing to pay that. I don't know the ins and outs, but I think that's the only real thing I can think has happened here, to be honest. I don't think because I think that, the medical was planned. I don't think we triggered that release clause without Morgan Gibbs-White's go-ahead. I think we had the go-ahead. I don't think Gibbs-White expected Marinakis and Forest to put up such a fight. And I think Marinakis turned to them and said, "You breached this clause. By revealing this release clause, I'm going to prove it. Essentially, now either you sign this new contract and we can forget this ever happened, or if you make this move, I'm going to take you all the way with these court battles and legal issues, and it's going to make your life a living hell." I think that's probably something like that kind of conversation happened.
And to be honest, with what he's going through right now with his family and his personal stuff. It's probably just something he doesn't need at this moment in time.
Exactly. And I think clearly over the 2 weeks, maybe Gibbs-White was trying to mediate this situation, and probably Marinakis and probably Tottenham were both being stubborn. Tottenham probably saying, "Look, we're not paying anymore." Marinakis saying, "Look, if you do this, then this is going to be, I'm going to make it a nightmare for you, essentially." And so I think Gibbs-White probably just felt, I'll stay another year, I'll get a massive pay rise, and maybe next summer I can get the move. But then if it's true they've taken the release clause out of his contract, which apparently has happened, then it's going to be very difficult for him to make a move unless he doesn't have a good season, and then all of a sudden he might be available for the fee we're talking about.
Yeah. So look, it is very frustrating on the Morgan Gibbs-White thing because of how sure we were of him coming through the doors at this club. It is a kick in the teeth because it goes from signing Kudus and Gibbs-White in the space of 24 hours, and you're thinking, all right, Spurs are really pushing the bow out here. Spurs are really going place. We're really having a go at it this summer. To
like
now, it felt like a difference. Where now it just feels like just kind of more of the same, really. Because every year we sign a player for like 50, 60 million, and then we just sprinkle a bit of youngsters around them. So we have to act fast. Now we have to act fast.
I definitely see a lot of people not in this chat as well, but also I've seen a lot of social media, the growing sentiment again about Daniel Levy and have we been Levy'd, all these different things. Obviously, we spoke about that a few days ago, and the feeling was no, but I guess at that point we still felt like the deal was going to go through. So is it because it didn't go through? Is the feeling changed around him and what he's done with this deal? Do we put blame on Levy for what's happened here?
I don't put specific blame on Levy for this specific deal of not getting over the line. But if this is all we do and we bring in, let's say, a João Palhinha and Kudus, and that's it from now to the end of the window, then I won't be happy with that window, and I will be pointing fingers. But look, I thought at the moment in time when we were getting Kudus and Gibbs-White and we were going to get a few more on top of that, then that would be a significant change into the way we're doing our business. But if we do bring in a João Palhinha for like 20 million and Kudus for 60 and Kota Takai, then it is just more of the same. And it's not the real kind of push that we need, in my opinion. Don't forget that all the business that we need to do of getting people out the door as well. So there's so much business to do still from now to the end of the window. We're just over a month to go now until the end. And you're talking about getting 9 to 10 players out the door, including getting 2, 3, hopefully 4 players through the door. I just can't see that happening.
The question is, if we felt like that this Gibbs-White, like we've earmarked him, we think this guy we really need in the team, he's perfect for us, like he's the player we want, do we wait a year for him, or do we just move on and say, look, try to get him, didn't get him, let's get a new player in, and we have to find an alternative now? Because I guess that's the approach, because there's no guarantees you get him next summer anyway. And
no, we have to find an alternative now. Gibbs-White's gone. It's in the past. That's it. We have to find an alternative, and we have to find one quick. Surely, look, what have they been doing for the last 3 weeks? Like, we've literally wasted so much time in these last 3 weeks assuming that Morgan Gibbs-White's going to come. We heard that the sentiment from inside the club that this deal's going to get over the line. So were they even drawing up, like, did they even have kind of alternative targets to their mind? I don't know. Surely they'd have a list even before they went for Gibbs-White. So hopefully they can just work further down that list. But it needs to happen now. Like, they're going on tour in a few days' time. We never do deals when we're on tour. Like, I'm starting to get worried that we're not even going to bring someone in ahead of instead of Gibbs-White. Like, we got a number 6.
There's still over a month left of the window.
That's what I'm saying. It's not that long though. Over a month for all the business that we need to get done.
Yeah, I know, but it's enough to sign an alternative to Gibbs-White.
Fine, it's enough to sign an alternative to Gibbs-White, but on top of all the other business that we need to do, like where is that going to be in the priority list now? Because we've got so much other like business to do, like all these players that need to go, all the number 6 that needs to come in, like any other players that we need to do to fill some other holes. If Sonny's going to go, we need to bring in another left winger as well.
I would say, given that the Gibbs-White deal was one of our priorities, I'm assuming an alternative to him also be quite high up. That's what I'd assume.
But was the Gibbs-White like that priority because they got a wind of his release clause, and they'll be like, you know what, he's going to fit the squad really well. Let's get that deal done now. Or did they go into it thinking that's the position that we really need to target?
I don't know.
I think it was probably more the former than the latter.
Knowing Levy, probably, because he's an opportunist.
That's what I'm saying.
So it could be true, but it could also be the latter. It's hard to know, but yeah, I think if you go by Levy's nature, he's an opportunist. He likes an opportunistic deal. He probably heard about this and then went for it. And maybe you're right. Maybe it wasn't a massive priority, but it was just an opportunity. That's definitely possible. But if we are looking for alternatives, who are we thinking? I don't even know where to start.
I think we probably go for someone like Harvey Elliott. That's what I think we do.
Elliott.
Which is a downgrade, massive downgrade. I think Harvey Elliott's a good player. He's got a good future ahead of him. But when you're talking about the stature of what Morgan Gibbs-White is in the game, up for Player of the Year last season, the age he's at, the amount of Premier League years of experience that he's got, I mean, it's a step down. And I want to go for more of the caliber and experience of a Gibbs-White more than a player that's up and coming like a Harvey White. Harvey Elliott.
Could we generally try our luck with Paquetá?
Mate, that would be insane. If we could go get two West Ham players this summer, that would be crazy.
Sure they wouldn't deal with us.
Nah, surely not.
Do they need to get rid of him? I don't know.
Don't know. He's just been cleared of all his charges.
Yeah. So where does that leave him, I guess, with West Ham? Because he didn't have a great year last year, but clearly the whole thing was affecting him. Now that's out of the way. They were clearly willing to do deals, and they nearly sold him to City, didn't they? That was now probably 2 years ago. But would they be willing to do a deal?
Probably not. Probably not.
Well, with us or with anyone?
Probably with us.
With us, you reckon?
After the Kudus thing, I just can't see it. I really can't see it. Another one of their top players coming to us. As much as I would love it, and I think Paquetá will be brilliant. He's such a good player. Have so much time for him, but nah, I can't see that one. The only kind of player I see us go, I don't see us going for a player in the same stature of Gibbs-White. I see us going for more of an up and coming, like a Harvey Elliott. Maybe if we're lucky, like a Nico Pats or someone like that. Like, I don't know. I can't even think of someone of the same, apart from Morgan Gibbs-White and Lucas Paquetá. Who else is there? Mikkel Damsgaard, but he's not the same.
Yeah, could we go for Damsgaard? Frank knows him. He had a great season last season. Is he one that maybe
there is no chance they're letting Damsgaard go. No chance. They don't even want to let Wissa go, and Wissa's probably going to end up going. So you're telling me in one summer they're going to lose 5 coaching staff members, they're going to lose their manager, they're going to lose Mbuemo, Wissa, Norgard, Flecken. Like, it's surely not.
Yeah, they probably make it more difficult. Obviously, there's someone in the comments here, Scorpion Fans for Life, saying alternatives for Gibbs-White, Eze, Xavi Simons, Kokchu, Nico Pats and Fratesi. Obviously, Simons now seems like he's off to Chelsea.
Well, yeah, Simons going to Chelsea. Eze's going to Arsenal.
Kokchu, obviously, he's a Benfica. Good player, Kokchu, but I don't mind him, but I don't know if he's the answer. Nico Pats, I like him a lot. Fratesi, I don't know if he's the player we need, Fratesi, although he's decent. I don't know if we can get any of those players, to be honest.
Yeah. So, like, it's slim pickings right now. It really is slim pickings.
Looking like in the Prem, yes, I'm trying to. I think in the Prem, like number 10's in the Prem. I can't think of too many that kind of 10s or kind of 8.5. There's Jacob Ramsey. We've spoken about. Maybe
which we do have a long-standing interest in.
We do. So maybe he's one we kind of go for. I think he's quite similar to Gibbs-White in a few ways. Probably like Gibbs-White's a lot better. Yeah, I mean, it's tough. It's really tough looking at realistic options. We're not going to get anyone out.
But regardless of it's that position, right? It's important that Spurs go big now in this month and a half, because we need some significant players through the door, whether it's a number 10, a number 6, cover at left back, a left winger if Sonny goes, and it looks like he is going at this moment in time. We just need big players to come through and just to beef up this squad. I know the squad's already big, but I'm talking about beefing up and improving that first 11. We need to improve the first 11.
Yeah, it's going to be... Yeah, it's just such a blow when a player like that was willing to come and we thought we had it over the line. So are we now going to be left disappointed by any alternative? That's the worry, I guess.
It's not so much about the alternative for me. It's about who else we bring on top of it. Like, yes, of course, I want someone of the same level of Gibbs-White. Well, we're not going to bring in someone of the same level of Gibbs-White. Like, that's just not going to happen because there isn't a player out there that's gettable. I think that's the same level as Gibbs-White. I just don't think that player is out there. So we need to push the boat out and bring in players that can improve our first 11 at left wing, in the number 6 position. These kind of positions that we desperately need. Like, the number 10 is not a desperation for us right now. We got Kulusevski. I know he's injured, but he's going to be back at some point. And we got Maddison. We've got players for the number 10, but we don't have anyone for the 6. We don't have anyone that can take up the mantle and get the same kind of goal contributions as Sonny gets for us consistently. That's what we don't have. And I would prefer we spend big money in those positions than we do in the number 10.
So could it be a blessing in disguise that Gibbs-White deal fell through?
No, because Gibbs-White, we were told that we were going to get Gibbs-White plus these other players.
Yeah, I doubt we were going to spend big on all of them.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, if Paulini is, that's not a massive deal to do when it comes to money if we get him. Left winger, if we want someone who's going to take up Son's mantle, you're going to have to spend big. Yeah, agreed. So maybe, to be fair, could we have done Gibbs-White and a big left winger? I'd like to think we could. And then Paulini on top of that. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this affects our actual business. Does it mean we don't get a 10 now? Like, for example, when I say, like, wait for Gibbs-White, like, I remember, who was it? I think Liverpool, when they spent a whole summer going after Van Dijk and they didn't get him. And instead of just signing an alternative, they said, all right, we'll wait for him. And I think in that same January, they went and signed him and put the money on the table and said, all right, we're going to get him now. So, like, is that something we could do for Gibbs-White, do you think?
No.
Like, you don't think it's worth doing? Do you think it's possible doing that?
No, it's look, I don't mind if we were to do it, but first of all, Marinakis, dealing with Marinakis getting next summer after what he's done this summer.
January.
Or in like, it's going to cost like nearly double the money to get him out of Nottingham Forest now. Like, there is no chance we can go back in for him and get him for 60 million. And I don't see Spurs going 80, 90 million. 100 million. However much Marinakis is probably a premium on Spurs now. So, no, I don't think that's the situation. Like, the Van Dijk thing is a completely different kettle of fish. Like, Liverpool have such a great relationship with Southampton. They were taking players with them every year.
We signed though not so long ago.
Yeah, we did sign Brennan not long ago, but we're not taking a Forest player every single season.
No, but obviously it's more because I think he was very...
Southampton were like Liverpool's feeder club at some point.
It was very telling, wasn't it? Well, why did it was very difficult for them to get Van Dijk out of them that summer, though, wasn't it? That's why, but they ended up doing it. But it was very telling. Marinakis, in his statement, said this is a statement to all other Premier League clubs, essentially towards Tottenham. This is a statement talking about to all other Premier League clubs that if you're going to do things in the right manner, do things in the right way. And we're not in the business of losing our best players, but we only allow players to leave in the right way. And that was clearly him just talking directly to Tottenham, saying, this is, you shouldn't have done this, essentially. You shouldn't have gone behind our backs and gone for the release clause. And this is what you get, essentially. Yeah. So that would tell me I agree. That's why I think we just got to have to look for an alternative, because I don't see Gibbs-White still being an option in the short term. And even in a year's time, it's going to be very difficult. No guarantees that we can make that happen. So there's no point waiting around for him.
Yeah, exactly. So look, I think just over a month to go, a lot of business to do. We just got to hope and pray that Johan Lang is actually working in the shadows, working in the darkness, and going to get us something over the line, and some significant signings over the line. Having said that, though, I was still thinking about it yesterday. Even with the squad that we've got now, minus Gibbs-White, I still think that we do have a decent chance still to finish 5th.
Yeah,
Like, you look at Newcastle without Isak. It looks like he's off. Like, there's no reason why we can't compete with them. There's no reason why we can't compete with Aston Villa.
they're not signing anyone at the moment, are they?
No. So I think the only problem is the top four are just getting further and further and further
Yeah.
away. That's what the issue is right now.
But I think that fifth is well up for grabs. Obviously, it's hard to say that after a day we drew with 2 League One sides in a day.
Pre-season.
And, I know exactly, but people will use that and say, look how far off we are. And we were poor, don't get me wrong. And you want to see better than that, even in pre-season. But irrelevant to that, it is pre-season. Results don't really matter. It's all about building fitness and all that kind of stuff. If you look at the players we got at the moment, we got a lot of very good players that you could easily get into the teams that we're looking to compete with. And I think Villa, they're in Europa League, and very reliant on Watkins. If he gets a big injury, I don't know what they do. They don't have Duran this season to bail them out. A lot of which he did a lot of the times last season in the first half of the season. They're not signing big players at the moment, Aston Villa. So I think their squad's going to be stretched thin as well again next season with less talent. They're not going to have Rashford and Asensio again as well. They're not going to have those two players who really gave them a little boost in the second half of the season. As you say, Newcastle, obviously, if Isaac leaves, I'll have to spend that money. But I look at their
They're talking about Sesko, aren't they?
They've got a good team, but also I think they've got a very good first 11. And beyond that, their squad is not as good. And they weren't in Europe last year. They're going to be in Europe this season. So I think I'm not saying we're guaranteed to finish above them, but I think we can very much compete with them. There's no reason why I'm looking at thinking they're this kind of team. There's no chance we finish above. I don't look at that and think that.
Yeah.
I think we can easily compete with them.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
And all the other teams are getting stripped of a lot of their talent, albeit fair play to Forest. They kept Gibbs-White now, so I can't say too much about them, although they have sold Alanga. All the other teams, Brentford, Bournemouth, Brighton, all losing a lot of their best players. So there's no reason why we should be looking at those situations and think, we can't finish above them. We should be aiming to finish above them, and we should be disappointed if we don't. So for sure, if you look at even with our squad now with no more additions, we've got a lot of depth at the moment, and I think we should be aiming for that top 5, 100%.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're favourites. I've probably still put maybe Newcastle as favourites in the moment, but there's no reason why we can't surprise a few people.
Yeah, I mean, you just look at what impact, though, Isaac had last season. Like, he was the best striker in the Premier League last season. Without him, I think they're going to go down levels next season, Newcastle. Like, if Sesko, for me, is not a direct replacement for Isaac, what Isaac brought them last season. And yeah, Sesko's a good player and it'll be good for them in the long run. But I think it'll take him a bit of an adjustment period to get used to the Premier League. So I don't think Newcastle's going to be as good next season as they were.
Get Sesko.
Yeah.
I agree. I think they were so reliant on Isaac. Isaac would do things by himself. They'll be on a counter, just give the ball to Isaac, and he would somehow just make that magic work. That is so hard to find.
Mm-hmm.
I really do think that. And I think there's going to be a few players for Tottenham. Hopefully, Frank will profile them a bit different. You'll see a different level of them. Obviously, there's big question marks for us as well, though. Son, Romero, we have to see what their future holds, and that could obviously change my thinking if we let them go and seeing who depends on who we replace them with. But right now, as the squad stands, I think we're in a better position. I think the people are blinded by that 17th place finish and think this is the true level of players. It isn't. This is a very talented squad who first won a European trophy last season. And I think we'll be in a much better position next season. I really believe that, and I think a lot of players will show a different level. So I think I want more additions. Don't get me wrong, because I want to put us in a stronger position going into the season. But I don't think our squad's in a really bad position. I really don't. I think we've got a lot of depth in a lot of places. Obviously, we need additions. Don't get me wrong, but.
Got a lot of depth in certain positions, but we've also got not much depth in some positions as well.
Fullback, not so much. Centre mid, we have a lot. Like, it's differences. But, yeah, I'm still looking excited about a lot of these players. But it's hard to say this after what we saw yesterday, because there's not much to be excited about yesterday, that's for sure.
Yeah, but look, it's a few pre-seasons. Look, what people got to remember about these pre-seasons, especially the first few, they're literally just to get the fitness up. That's what it is. And I think a lot of the players clearly needed it, because in the first half, when we played 35 minutes, they were okay in the first game, and then second game they were just shot to pieces. Mm-hmm. So I think we'll learn a lot more in terms of the coming pre-seasons against the Arsenals, Newcastles, and Bayern Munich. Let's see how we are against them. Like, the first 3 were terrible, let's just hope we can show more in the next 3.
Yeah. That's going to be, people are going to definitely make some judgments. But let's just hope we compete and, we look good. Well, I'm not expecting wins or needing wins. Doesn't really matter whether we win or not, but it's how we're playing.
Thursday, we need a win.
Yeah, Thursday we need to win. That one we need to win. The other ones, I'm not looking at winning or not. It's just about looking like we can compete.
Yeah.
And that's one.
I guarantee you, if we win on Thursday, everyone's going to be buzzing for Frank.
Gyökeres is a flop. Kudus is the next big thing. It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, but look, like I said, a month and a bit to go. We got some significant business still to do. I question, how much of it we are actually going to do with the outgoings that we need to do as well. And I'll judge everything at the end of the window, but I am getting very concerned about the state of our transfer window right now. I really am. But look, that's that. That is that. We got a few super chats to get into before we finish. What is this one? Jaden McCalla says, 1 player each. Who would you want instead of Morgan Gibbs-White?
1 player each.
1 player. It's a hard question because it depends who we get in the other positions. But if we're just for number 10, who would I want? I don't even know, man. I don't even know. Probably just Paquetá just to boil some piss.
A good option. I mean, I'd like to have Simons, but we're not going to get him unless we change his mind. Now that
Xavi Simons.
Now that maybe we weren't in for him and now we can go in for him, but he's just such a Chelsea player, isn't he? You just see him at Chelsea.
Yeah.
And Chelsea are going to offer him a big, probably massive wage packet and a 9-year deal.
Yeah. Not happening.
Where does he even fit in? They've got They've got Palmer in the 10. They've got Nkunku. They've got Pedro.
He can play on the left as well, can't he?
They've got Neto. I guess who else they have on the wing at the moment? I'm not even sure.
Look, he'll get significant game time. Don't you worry about that. Shuli Madoff says, Max Dowman, remember the name.
Oh.
Who the hell's Max Dowman? I don't even know who Max Dowman is.
Never heard of him.
Who is he? Like, don't come here with your Arsenal propaganda, mate. Like, get out of here.
Talk about Tynan Thompson.
Exactly. Let's talk about Janai Beifeld.
Exactly.
Let's talk about Mr. Mikey Moore. Let's talk about...
Exactly.
Who's Max Dowman?
Will Lancashire.
Get out of here with Max
Jamie
Dowman.
Donnelly. All right.
Who the hell is Max Dowman? Scorpion Fan for Life says Palhinha feels like a stopgap. What about Stiller?
Palhinha definitely is a stopgap for sure.
Angelo Stiller, yeah, I'd love to see him through the doors at the club. I mean, there were heavy rumours that he was going to Real Madrid, but that hasn't seemed to happen.
I'll take him if there's a chance.
Yeah. Ethan Y says Spurs going big, going to get Dibbling, Sirkin and Palhinha.
That sounds like Tottenham.
And Lewis Jevons says Brahim Diaz.
I mean, he's more of a right winger /10 player, but I think he's good.
Where is he? Is it AC Milan?
No, he's still Madrid.
Oh, is he still at Madrid? Was he only on loan at AC Milan?
Yeah, and he was good last season.
People are saying Lookman. Lookman again, winger.
Yeah, winger. Yeah.
All right, look, I think we're going to leave it there, guys. But we'll be back. Well, some of us will be back tomorrow. Some of us will be on a flight to Hong Kong tomorrow. So everyone have a safe flight to Sim, as Sim is off to the Far East to see the North London derby and the game against Newcastle in Seoul. So you're just stuck with me and Mr. Brian Daigle for the next week.
Well, you will get content from Hong Kong and Seoul. But yes, in the studio, it'll be just Ben and Brian.
Yeah, well, Brian won't be in the studio either.
No,
so it's just going to be all by myself with Sammy. Don't worry, I got Sammy with me behind the screen, so that's all that matters. But look, that is it from us today. We'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Like, subscribe, and comment, and as always, come on you Spurs.